Good morning, friends. Hey, I'm new over here to YouTube. I've been on other social media outlets for a long time. So I just wanted to share. I'm going to be uploading all my videos and moving to this area. And what I talk about is energetic weight loss. I talk about energy. I talk about creating your reality. I talk about how to change your body and shift your body, move into the body that you want through creating your reality. But I also talk about self love, healing trauma, how to change your life, how to change your perspective. And I give you a new way to understand what a lot of teachers like Bashar or Abraham Hicks, people who talk about creating your reality, people who talk about energy. I just have a new spin on it. I have a spin where I can teach it from a psychological point of view if it's really hard for you to just grasp like the energetic perspective of like, oh yes, everything is energy and everything can be changed. You can create what you want just by your thoughts. If you have a hard time grasping that, I have a good way to view it from a psychological point as well. So I'm going to share some of that with you this morning. And if you find it, a lot easier for you to understand, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have a ton of videos on here. I have probably over 500 videos on TikTok and about 70,000 followers over there, but I'm going to be moving everything here. So I just want to talk a little bit about today about how I really discovered an easier way to change your mindset, to shift your beliefs. And the first thing that happened to me when I started working on my trauma is I started realizing that creating your reality really stems from your belief system. So it's not a state where a lot of us can just sit and just think to ourselves, I'm going to change the way that I think today. I'm going to be a different person. I'm going to manifest $1 million. For a lot of us, we have belief systems that are so ingrained in us that we have been taught since we are very, very little that we are worthless, that we don't love ourselves, that we don't deserve the things that we want or the things that we think we should have. And not everybody has to do this. Some people are self-aware enough where they can just look at it and be like, oh, there's a belief. There's an old belief that I don't like that I'm just going to get rid of. I see it. I have my aha moment. I'm never going to think that way again. And they can get rid of it. But it's the belief systems that are embedded within our subconscious that are really dug in there. And if you look at this from a psychology point of view, for me, I had to dig my trauma out to understand why I thought the things that I thought, because I didn't know why my subconscious mind was thinking that I was worthless. I didn't know why my subconscious mind was saying things to me like, you're not good enough for that, or your family's always been poor, so you're going to be poor as well because this is the only type of job you're ever going to get. Your body looks the way it does because your mom was fat. So you are also going to look like that because that's what your body looks like. It never occurred to me that my belief systems were dialed all the way back from when I was born. So if you look at that from a state of people like Bashar that teach energy, which I also teach because I'm a Reiki master teacher, it makes sense to people who are already tuned into energy, who are tuned into frequencies. And the way that I see it from frequencies is you start off at a certain frequency when you're here, and that starts from generational trauma. That starts from your parents' trauma because you are made of them. You are literally made of their cellular material, and cellular material carries everything. So you start off with generational trauma, and then you pack on top of that whatever you acquire in your life. So if you grew up in a family where you were just the kid that was ignored all the time, that's going to cause significant trauma for you. Is it as bad as trauma that some people go through? No, but it doesn't neglect the fact that it is trauma that has embedded a belief system internally in your mind, the way that you think, those thought processes that run through your head, and also what you believe in your core to be true. Now, if you also grew up in a home with parents who consistently fed you information, Doesn't matter what it is. In my household, it was always about body. So it was always about fat. You're fat. Nobody will ever love you. You're fat. Nobody's ever going to want to be with you. No one will be in a relationship with you. You're not worth anything. No one's going to give you a good job because of the way you look. You're not attractive enough. You could always stand to lose more weight. You shouldn't be wearing those clothes. So it came from a generational standpoint. If you look at it psychology, it came from a place where my parents taught me that and reiterated it over and over. So I had that belief system set. And then I had my own whole set of experiences that evolved from birth on. So my brain is very logical. I had to learn how to unpack that backwards and deal with my trauma first so that I could dig into my belief systems to figure out exactly what I thought to begin with. Because a lot of the things that we think, we don't know that we think. We don't know that there are other people in the world that are walking around that are just happy when you're in a state of depression and anxiety, or when you're in a state where your subconscious mind is generating these thoughts that are telling you that you're not worthy, that you don't deserve things. You think everyone else thinks like that. And I didn't know that for a really long time. I didn't know that. I mean, before social media started, we didn't have the capacity to see inside what other people's thought processes were. And that is a blessing of social media, also a curse. But the blessing is that it showed me there were all of these people walking around that were just happy. And I didn't understand that that could be a way of life, that people could just walk around and be happy and be like, oh, life is great today, because I had so much trauma built up over time that my subconscious brain not only fed things to me like, you're disgusting, your body is gross, I hate my body, I hate the way I look, I don't look the beauty standard. Excuse me. But it also fed to me the underlying issues of life is hard, life is difficult, you're never going to make enough money. Life is always going to, if it's not one thing, it's another thing, right? That was one thing that was always stuck inside of my head. Like, if it's not this thing today, it's always going to be, it's always something. It's always dramatic. There's always something crazy going on. And lo and behold, that's exactly what would happen. So as I started diving into the energetic world and understanding that your belief system, like, it dawned on me one day. I finally did enough work where it unlocked that space in my brain where I was like, oh my God, how did I never see this before? But it dawned on me one day that what you experience in the world around you is based off of that belief system. And the belief system is what you choose to hang on to believe, or subconsciously what you believe. And if you have thought something over and over and over again, it moves into your subconscious. If you have a neural pathway in your brain, because my background is in biology, and if you have a neural pathway in your brain that thinks the same thing all the time, so the second something bad happens and you're like, here we go, it's another day, everything is always hard, everything is always difficult, nothing works out for me, it's always got to be hard. Even if you're saying it from like a lighthearted joking standpoint, which is how I would, or sarcastically, I was still generating the same reality over and over again. And once I understood that our belief systems controlled what we were seeing and what we were experiencing, and that's how I define create your reality. I don't define create your reality as like, oh, I want a Lamborghini, I'm just going to think about having a Lamborghini every day, so then I'm going to have it. I see it as when you modify your belief system inside and you start discussing your belief system with yourself and you start pulling that apart and rewiring it. So you rewire your neural pathways. So your thoughts, your natural thoughts that you're having aren't, here we go again, another hard day. It's hard again. Here we go again. I look fat today. I look disgusting. Nobody wants to see me. I don't want to be out in public. I look horrible. If you are shifting those thoughts little by little by little and creating new neural pathways and shutting down the old neural pathways that thought those things, you then start shifting a frequency little by little by little. And it's like tuning into a radio station. So when you start off in this world, you start off at one radio station. Let's say it's 102.3. And you can stay on 102.3 for a really long time, and you can function there, and it could be difficult, and you could be used to it, so it could be comfortable, or you can start making psychological decisions to change the way that you think, to change the belief systems, to tune into the belief system that you have to begin with, because you may not even know that that belief system exists inside of you. When I really first started unpacking all of this, I had no idea, guys. No idea how deep this shit went. I mean, there was a sinkhole underneath, because not only was I unpacking my own stuff, I was unpacking generational trauma of what my parents had taught me for years and years and years. So I really had to dig that shit out. And when I started tweaking it, I would start seeing things in my reality change. And at first I was like, this isn't real. This is not real. And I would see what people call signs and synchronicities in the energy world. Because again, I teach Reiki, so I'm into all the woo-woo stuff. I always have been. And I would see all these crazy signs and synchronicities, and I would think to myself, like, well, that's weird. I was just focusing on that today, and I just changed my whole belief system. So I took one piece of my life, and I decided I'm going to tune into this. I'm going to apply it. I'm going to see if I can change my entire belief system and find out what my belief system is to begin with. Apply it through energy, and I'm going to see if it works. That's all I'm going to do. And for me, it was weight loss, because I had always been on a diet hamster wheel. I had always tried whatever new diet. I have a degree in nutrition. Like, that's how obsessed I was with it. I went to school for nutrition. I counseled people for nutrition and weight loss for almost 15 years, very successfully. I lost weight. I went up and down. I was everything from 126 to 205 pounds, and I'm 5'1". I'm real short. So 205 out of 5'1". You know what I'm saying? But I decided I'm going to scrap everything that I've ever learned in the nutrition arena, like all of it. I'm going to scrap all of it. And I'm going to do it through application of a belief process, what I've thought about myself. I'm going to unpack all the things that I've ever thought about myself and my body and who I am and what I believe. And I'm going to see if I can lose weight. And I lost 50 pounds this way. And it was effortlessly when it comes to the normal way that we think of dieting and nutrition in the Western world here in society. And I counseled people in this for 15 years, and a lot of people were successful, and I was successful. And I went to the gym, and I busted my ass, and I ran a duathlon, and I did all of the things, and I got my weight off, but it always would come back on. Something would happen. My body changed. I got pregnant, times of stress. I went through a divorce, which was, a rock bottom for me because I have kids. So I didn't ever think that was going to happen in my scenario. So it really traumatized me. So I noticed every time I would have an emotional reaction to something, I would still go back to my old belief systems and my old coping skills, which were food or alcohol at the time. So my weight would always come back. And that's that yo-yo dieting circle that we get on. And I thought, why is it always coming back? I mean, I knew that I would be triggered by things, but I didn't know really how much it affected creating my reality and the reality that I was experiencing. So I unplugged from everything I ever knew about Western society, teaching you how to count calories, teaching you how to eat low fat and low sugar, all the chemicals that they push in our food, teaching you how to break down your life from that perspective and break down your weight and your body. I shifted into a different type of intermittent fasting, not like one that you've ever seen before. I used my normal nutrition background and education and combined it with energy and connecting back to your body, understanding your body, learning your hunger cues, learning what it needs, learning what type of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients come with it. Okay, that's my energetic weight loss portion of what I talk about. So I just decided I'm going to go all in on this. And within the first year, I lost about 25 pounds, and I did nothing. I did nothing like breaking down all the food, counting all of the things, restricting myself, not allowing myself things that I wanted, working out at the gym for an hour, 60 to 90 minutes a day, which is what I'd always done. I did none of those things. It was effortless as far as losing my weight. And then over the next year, I lost another 25 pounds. So altogether, I lost 50 pounds doing it. Again, easy, not stressful. Didn't put one amount of stress on my body and mind as far as nutrition and diet programming and diet culture. I successfully deprogrammed diet culture from my life. Incredibly hard as far as functioning with my trauma and dealing with my trauma and changing my belief system. It was two separate things. And once I grasped it, that's how I made that big leap from, oh, creating your reality is real, because I saw a physical change in my body, if that makes sense. I had to apply it in one space in my life and let go of anything that I ever learned. And it was the one thing that I had focused on my entire life. I let go of all of it, saw the results just by changing my belief system and processing my trauma and letting it go and rewiring it, creating a new belief system, and then repeating it day after day after day. And it stuck. And I have no more of those old habits that I have. I eat whatever I want. I eat it whenever I want to eat it. I keep all the things in the house that people have always told you to keep out. It's not, my body changed completely. The inflammation status, the way that my health was, my mental health changed. I'd always struggled with anxiety and depression. Always. And I do firmly believe that your gut microbiome has a lot to do with that. And that shifted huge because I started eating intuitively, because I tapped back into my body and what my body needs. And I followed what my body was asking for. So I built the basis of all of this, my entire company and what I teach, off of me just going full in, starting with energetic weight loss. So that is a facet or a fraction. But teaching how to rewire your brain, how to change your belief system, how to come from a place of unpacking all of that stuff and then filling it with self-love on top of it. That's the key. It's not just about extracting old belief systems and letting them go. It's not just about having the aha moment and understanding, oh shit, I talk bad to myself all the time. Oh shit, I'm the one that keeps saying I'm fat. I'm fat. I've been on this diet for a week. I haven't lost a pound. I'm still fat. I still look the same. Creating my reality, creating the same body, creating the reaction. You get exactly what you are speaking. And I'm telling you guys right now, there's a lot of people who don't have to go through all of this. There's a lot of people who can look at their belief systems and be like, I got this. Easy peasy. I'm going to change my belief system today. I'm a millionaire. Stick to it, and boom, that's what happens. That was not me. I'm here for the people that need to understand, for the people that have that neurotic way of thinking, for the neurodivergent people that really are like, I can't control the pop-ups. I can't control 50% of my thoughts. For the people who have so much trauma that have dragged them down over years and years and years. That's what my company focuses on. That's who I can relate to. If you find any of this relatable, if you find any of this like, oh yeah, I do have that kind of thought process in my head, then this is the space that you want to be in, because it's easy to learn from people that we have these exact same thought processes. So once I learned how to rewire that belief system, and once I learned how to unpack that trauma, I just started going after every single piece that popped up, one by one by one. Anytime I got triggered by anything, it didn't matter what it was. It didn't matter if it was about my body. It didn't matter if it was about money. It didn't matter if it was about a partner. It didn't matter if it was relationships. It didn't matter if it was the relationships with my kids or with my parent or with my significant other at the time. Anything that triggered me, I went hardcore and I started unpacking all of that stuff little by little by little. And I rewired my brain, and I taught myself how to do it by starting it in my conscious reality and then shifting it to the subconscious reality. And little by little, I saw all of that change, what people call signs and synchronicities, what people say oh my God, the craziest thing happened to me. I've been talking about A, B, and C for 3 weeks, and today it popped up into my reality. And now, as things are changing, people are going through ascension, people are waking up. If you're on that space of energy, you're seeing this stuff pop back at you real fast. Like, you're seeing synchronicities happen within hours sometimes. You're seeing synchronicities happen within days. Like, you're seeing a reflection back to you, because the more you dig in, the more you understand your world is a reflection of what you are thinking and believing. It's a mirror. You don't walk up to a mirror, stand in front of it like this, and say, smile, and then expect the mirror image to smile back at you. You have to smile first to get the smile back. You are experiencing right now, today, what you have already created in the past. So if you think about this from a logical standpoint, if 7 days ago you were in a belief system of everything is hard, nothing works out for me, every time one thing happens, another thing happens, it just keeps going. 7 days later, you're still experiencing everything is hard, nothing works out for me, everything becomes difficult, because the universe, the projected reality that you are experiencing, is coming from you, and there's a delay. So whatever you believe is happening, you keep experiencing. You have to change your belief. So when you see people online talk about, like, oh, Delulu is the Salulu, yes, it is. But you also have to change the belief. You can't just be like, I'm just going to be Delulu for today, but I still believe everything is crazy. You have to unpack the belief. And for me, all of those beliefs were embedded in traumatic experiences. So I had to do the psychological basis to rewind all the way back there. Now, when I went to school for biology and nutrition, I took all my psychology and sociology classes as well. So I have that in the background. I do not have a degree in it. I don't have a master's, not a LCSW. I tell people that up front. But I have all of the background classes and the basics for psychology combined with all of my energy practices that I've been practicing for so long. So I combined that together, learned how to change my belief system, learned how to rewire everything. And then I created my company, which is NJ Wellness. So I will be moving all of my videos from TikTok that I have over there onto YouTube. So there's going to be a lot of stuff here. But here I'll be talking brand new about how to rewire your belief system, how to change your body, because you can. You can. When you can shift from a place with weight loss, with body, with anything, you can shift from a place of, this is what I look like, this is always what I'm going to look like, this is what my mom looked like, I'm fat, I'm disgusting, every time I eat this I gain more weight, right? If any of that stuff sounds familiar to you, you have to change that belief process. And I'm living proof that when you change it, your body, your mind, your reality will change around you. I needed hard proof. If you are a person that needs hard proof, you can start practicing this in your life and you can see it for yourself, because I did. And I changed it. And it wasn't in the way that I wanted to make millions of dollars, because that's not what everybody wants. And it wasn't in the way that I wanted a castle on an island or a Lamborghini. The thing that was most important to me was my body at the time, because I had been obsessed with it for so many years, and I successfully shifted it. The thing that is most important to me now are relationships that are built around me. So that's what I'm working on now, shifting those relationships, making them the best that they can be. Not everybody wants billions of dollars. It's not to say that I'm not focusing on my business and building that too. But I know a lot of times people will say, well, if you can create your reality, you should just have $1 million and a boat and a beautiful house and all these things. Not everybody wants those things. That's not what my top priorities were. So you choose what your top priorities are. You start working on the trauma, the triggers, the things that hold you back in that area. You start like breaking down that belief system, and then you have to build it back up, which is something I can happily show you how to do. So you can check out my website, njwellness.net. It's listed all over here on my YouTube. There's a link to it as well. You can also check out my TikTok, but I'm going to be on here. So if you like this information, like and subscribe here. Share this with anybody you know that might have a rough time, especially people that are dealing with weight loss, because I struggled with this for 30 years. And anybody that really has an issue with weight loss and wants to try it from a different perspective, please share these videos with them. Share my account. Follow me here so you can see more, and check out my website. I hope this helps somebody understand it a little bit different today. And I'll be here live on YouTube on and off, so you can catch me. Take care, you guys.